Lakshmi, shall we start, ma?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll start.
Yeah. Sir, a very good morning, sir. Myself, Bala Hussain Reddy, sir, PA of this ANGRAU Agribusiness Incubator.
Yes, sir.
So I welcome all the participants to this 5-day webinar series. We are on 4th day, running successfully. And for the information of the speaker, the participants are across the country, sir. It's not limited to only one state. There are people from other states also. And today, actually, before going into the topic, I'm very much delighted to introduce the speaker of today's series lecture, Dr. Satish Chandra, sir, who is working as Executive Director at Institute of Agricultural Technology and Finance Management, Bangalore. Sir is basically a graduate from agriculture from US, Bangalore, Hebbal. And then he is a fellow of Institution of Valuers, New Delhi. He has a vast experience of more than 30 years, 35 years in different sectors. And he has experience of over 2,000 projects in the past 20 years. Different innovation, different startup projects or whatever may be. And then he has been a part of valuation of world's largest tea plantation in Assam, and then coffee plantation in Laos. And also has an experience of financial research in adopting cumulative present value in capital budgeting and standardizing the investment setting in agriculture. He has done a research in that aspect, and then research on valuation of biological assets using opportunity cost techniques, especially in integrated operations. So presently, sir is mentoring more than 400 startups through different incubators located at IARI, PUSA, then JTM, that is PUSA campus, then NAVIC, IVRI Bangalore, then Atal Incubation Center at IGKRV Raipur, then an IFPFT Coffee Board Bangalore. So sir has a vast experience of mentoring the startups, and then is also working on 14 food processing industries to standardize the production and cost norms, and as currently giving the enlightening the people are through online classes in finance management for startups and techniques in valuation. Really great, sir. And then the major accomplishments that sir has done is project report on 3 mega food projects, and then preparation of district irrigation plans for 3 districts in Karnataka, then preparation of strategic research and extension plan for Mysore district. I think it is under Atma. And then credit monitoring arrangement for rupees 300 crores poultry unit, and then guidance on credit rating for agriculture projects. Really, your wide experience in different sectors certainly will be helpful for those participants, sir, who are encouraged or maybe willing to take up the startups, or those who are already in the startup business. Certainly your experience will be very much useful, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now it is over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Good morning to all of you participants. Let me first tell you that the moment finance we talk, people get scared, especially those who are in agriculture sector. The moment they hear about finance management, they think they express as, oh, I'm away from it. Today, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible, unimaginably simple as possible. So don't get scared about when someone talks about finance. You know, the simple way you can talk is whenever we say, we look at our gods, we say 3, Vishnu, Ishvara, and Brahma. Now you see these 3 words we normally use, Vishnu, Ishvara, and Brahma. But do you know that Ishvara has 1,000 names and Vishnu has 1,000 names? Same way in finance also, simple words, money has 1000 names. Money has 1000 names. That's all. But ultimately it is all money. And how we manage is simply taught by your own body. Your own body is a magnificent teacher of finance management. So we'll learn how we manage our finances in business through our body as well, so that you are getting conscious of your finance management on day-to-day basis. You are conscious that your body is there working as a finance manager, and finance management simply needs to follow that particular path. So let me share the PowerPoint presentation for today. So the objective is to learn very simple principles, very simple but solid principles that you need to follow in your lifetime, especially in finance management. Very simple rules are there. So please try to follow that. So any finance management starts with expenditure. So any finance management starts with expenditure. For that matter, any business is expenditure only. You want to do business, someone has to spend their money, or they have to incur expenditure on your product. So if they incur expenditure, you get money. Whole business concept runs on the concept of expenditure. So your whole attention should be about how much I should spend, on what I should spend. Now, there are 4 questions you need to answer in a particular business. What do you want to spend money on? Where do you want to spend money? On what object you want to spend money? That's the first question you have to answer. Why do you want to spend money? And how much money you need to spend is the second question. And third question is, when do you want this money? What stage you want this money? How much money is needed when? And who will give you money is the last question you have to answer. If you are able to answer this in a simple way, your 50% of finance management is done. Most of the times, we plan our expenditure without looking when we want, how much we want, and who will give money. That leads to most of the problems, because 90% of the time we are gate crashers. When there is an expenditure, we try to mobilize money. It is not correct. We need to have an expenditure planning which shows when do you want money, how much money do you want, for what do you want money, and then who will give your money. If you answer these questions, 50% of your finance management is done. Now, let us look at a simple example. Now, you see, I am establishing a project, and in that project, on what do I want to spend money? I want to spend money on land. I want to spend money on water and electricity facility. I want to spend money on buildings. I want to spend machinery and others. Others means small. Now, if you see the character of these 4 or 5 items, they are long-term in nature. Therefore, they become capital expenditure or a long-term expenditure. Now, when do I need money? I need to buy land in the first quarter. Therefore, I need 100 lakhs in the first quarter. Water and electricity, I need to arrange along with the land. Therefore, I require about 10 lakhs for water and electricity arrangements. Then buildings, I may have to spend about 1 crore or around 1 crore. So I will spend it over a year period. But in the first quarter, I may need about 25 lakhs because I have to organize architect. I have to organize building plan. I need to mobilize certain material to start construction. Therefore, in the first quarter, I require about 1 crore 40 lakhs. So when do you need money? So you can see on what do I want to spend money? When do I need money? So I have put 4 quarters when I will be needing 1 crore 40 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 80 lakhs, and 210 lakhs. So this planning I have done. Once the long-term assets are completed, in the last quarter, I require raw material, processing expenditure, and others. So I require working capital or the operational expenditure in the last quarter. Now, how much money do I need? I require 1 crore 40 lakhs in the first quarter, 30 lakhs in the second quarter, 80 lakhs in the third quarter, 2 crore 50 lakhs in the fourth quarter. Now, who will give me money? Now, you see, my own money or my own savings, I'm bringing in the initial stage 1 crore, 7.5 crores, 20 lakhs, 7.5 lakhs, 20 lakhs, and 62 lakhs in each quarter. I'm bringing my own money. That's approximately about 1 crore 90 lakhs. I'm bringing my own money. So grants or others or any other person who is giving money, it will be about 50 lakhs. So the bank will give me loan in as the way I have stated here. Now you see, my planning is complete in terms of expenditure. When do I need money? How much money do I need? And who will give me money? Now, this is what is called as expenditure planning, and it is absolute essential in any business. Unless you know what expenditure is coming when, you will be always in difficulty. Please don't gate crash for mobilizing money. You need to have a advanced planning. Now, when we spend money, it is called expenditure. On what object you are spending money, it becomes application of money, or you are applying your money on a particular asset or a particular cause. Now, when you say, I need money, why do you need money is the question that we ask. So simple answer is, we need to spend money or expenditure is there. I'm repeating it just to implant this particular concept in your mind. So why do I need money? I need money to make more money. I need to make more money, therefore I need money. I have my own money, I want to make more money. So in order to make more money, I spend money. So spending money is basic. Making more money is making others spend money on your product. Now, what exactly is a business? A business has an objective of spending money to make more money, number one. Number two, we create value. We create ethics of business. We create a system of business. We create an organization which is capable of making money, more money, year after year. So we are creating an organization, or that organization gets value. So the objective of this organization is to create an impact. We create an impact on this one. Let's take an example. Zomato, Swiggy, these are the companies which are in home delivery of cooked food. Now you can imagine, what have they created? They have created an impact on the population. What kind of impact? They changed the habit of people of not going to hotels to eat hotel food, but get hotel food delivered at home. Now, has it not resulted in large part of the community accepting it? Now, you see, the objective of business is to create value or a value system, and it creates an impact in the community so that large part of the community is making use of it. About 46 million orders are received by Zomato every day. So many people are affected. So many people use the facility, about 4.5 crore orders every day. And many a times, this particular change has become a permanent change. It's a permanent change in me that if I am not able to cook, I'm just getting the food delivered to my home. So these are the characteristics of business or startup that you need to create. So the objective is to spend money to make more money, but the greater objective is you have an organization that makes more money year after year by impacting the community, making more people accept your product, and bring about a permanent change in the habit of such people so that they are addicted to your product or they are inseparable from your product when it comes to its use. Now, let us look at what exactly is use of a product. When you are creating a product, there has to be use for that product. So you need not be dependent on a product always, even an idea. If the idea is good, people buy your idea. They give you money to buy your idea. They buy your products, or you are offering a service, people buy your service or subscribe to your service. Many times, even effort, a temporary effort is also accepted. Now, what is the parameter that creates money? How do you create money? How do you make money? So first thing is all these products like idea, product, service, or effort should have use. So use means unless a utility is inbuilt into your idea, or unless a utility is built up into product, or a utility is built up into service, your product will not have use. Let us take an example of a mobile phone. Now, mobile phone is there with you. Suddenly the battery dies. So now, does it have a use? So it does not have a use. Automatically, it becomes useless temporarily till you put a battery into it or charge a battery into it. That means for a brief period, its use gets completely blocked. So what is use? Use can be of two types. One is the best use, the other one is highest use. The best use is simply putting one particular product for its best capability. Let's say I have a mobile phone. The best use of mobile phone is I use it for communication, telephone, sending messages, and receiving messages. At the same time, today that best use has gone up into sending emails, sending money, and even communicating secretive information or confidential information. Why do people buy iPhone? They buy iPhone by paying huge sums of money for security purposes. Best security, best quality, best build-up, and all that. So now we say best use. Then what is the highest use? I have a mobile phone which has 256 GB storage and 12 GB RAM. So I use that particular machine to full capacity for viewing video, for playing games, for almost like ragad raha, or I'm just using it to the maximum capacity. That is called highest use. The other example is you have a 100 rupee note. What is the highest use of 100 rupee note? When you spend entire 100 rupee, it becomes highest use. But best use, you buy a very satisfying product with just 50 rupees. That itself is the best use. So this is the difference in every product or every idea or every service. If you are able to build best use and highest use, automatically demand is created. People want to buy it from you. Let me put another example in your mind. The best use and highest use and all that. Let's say you are constructing a house, and at the end of construction, all work is done and a big stone is lying idle. You don't have any use for it. So it is lying idle in front of your house. You just pushed it to the corner of the road and then forget about it. The stone has no value for you in terms of use. So it is not being used. You just threw it. Now, one day, what happened? A small time sculptor is walking. Oh, he sees the big stone. He simply carves 2-3 statues out of it. He carves 2-3 statues out of the stone and leaves it there, and he just leaves. Now you see the stone which was lying useless was converted into statues, and now everybody wants it because the statues are beautiful, they're worth the decorative item, they have kept it in the open. So you now feel that the idol belongs to you, therefore you try to take it. That means a stone got a demand because there was a use for it. Now supply, now the first part is always called as commercial part. That is the reaction of the market. Reaction of the market for best use and highest use and creating demand. Now comes your part. Having created demand, it is your responsibility to supply it. How do you supply it? What quantity you supply it? What is the demand and what is your supply? And now when you want to supply, automatically there are responsibilities thrust on you. That is, you need to make it a legal item. That means you should be capable of legally contracting to sell your product. It clearly indicates that you need to have registration of your company, registration of your products, and then your product should be certified as usable. Your product should be certified as not harmful. And then you should be able to give an invoice for selling your product. That when these three characters, that is supply, legality, and transferability bring in, that is your part of the business. That is your responsibility. The use, highest use and demand is created by market. Market is volatile. They are very sensitive to utilization and services. So automatically that determines the quantity that you are supplying. Whenever you want to supply, it should be legal. So when these parameters are met, anything can be converted into money. Anything can be converted into, even an idea can be converted into money. A product can be converted into money. A service can be converted into money. And an effort can be converted into money. So now, then let's look at business. What is business? Why are you creating a business? You create a business just like your body. What is the objective of your body? Your body, you want it to be sustaining for a long period of time. That means you want to live for 80, 85 years, and your body should be ready for that. Same way, your business should be like your body, ready to run a marathon innings. Why do you do that marathon innings? Why your body is meant for 85 years of business? Because you do healthy activity every day. So there are two objectives in a business. First thing is, my business should be long-term operative. Therefore, it should be healthy, just like a healthy body. So it is capable of sustaining business for a long period of time. Normally, a balance sheet of a business represents a healthy body or a healthy business. As simple as this. If you have a healthy body, you imagine that your business should also have a healthy structure. So balance sheet of a business represents a healthy body or its structure, business structure. And short-term objective of a business. What is the objective of your healthy body? Healthy body should be active every day. It should go to office. It should earn money. It should bring back money. It should get food every day. It should eat food every day. It should relax every day. It should sleep every day. Now you see, it is earning money. It's bringing food to eat and survive every day. Now you see, the objective of body, first objective is survive every day. So you get food to survive every day. So a part of the survival plan goes into body being maintained. That is sustaining the body. So survival of the body, sustaining of the body. These two are not enough. You want to progress. So automatically the objective of a long-term healthy body is to have survival, sustaining, and progress. Same way, your business should be long-term healthy, and then it should survive every day, it should sustain every day, and it should progress every day. So this is the objective of business. This is the objective taught to you by your own body. So healthy body indicates a healthy balance sheet. Healthy activity of your body indicates everyday profit and loss. Did you earn money today? Yes, you may be profitable. If you have not earned money today, but you have only spent money, you are at loss. So you have lost money because you didn't work that day or you didn't earn that day. So this is how your business is being run. So objective, long-term objective is my business should be strong, healthy, maintained in a good spirits, so that it works on a profit and loss account every day, makes money, makes more money, makes more money, so that the objective of long-term operational ability is maintained and progress is achieved. So the mantra for any business is survival first, sustaining next, and progress is most important. The moment you survive and you sustain, progress automatically walks into your house, walks into your business, because there is no other way. It has to progress. So you need to plan these things, and that's why we call it as financial planning or finance management. So now, as we said, long term and short term. Now, these are the only two words in the business world. Any expenditure is classified into long term or short term. Any asset that you buy is also classified into long term and short term. Remember, there is no other intermediary name. Any expenditure is of only two types. One is long term, the other one is short term. Any expenditure, whatever you spend today, just give an observation whether you are spending that money for long term purpose or a short term purpose. Normally, in a business, long term is indicated by land, water and electricity arrangements, essential buildings on that piece of land. This is called immovable property. Then next one is machinery and equipment. It comes under movable property. Office furniture, movable property. Contingencies, movable property, and other minor things. Now you see, long-term expenditure has movable and immovable. Let us now compare it with our own body. In our own body, if you see, we all stand on a land or we sit on the land. So land is integral part to any person, anybody. You cannot stand in the air. You have to lay your leg on land. So you require land. Now then look at your own structure, body structure. The skeleton and the muscles, they represent building structure, a structure of the business building. Then all the parts of the body inside your body are working. So they are like equipments. They work day in and day out. They keep working all through the day. They do take rest by time, part by part, but they are working. Whenever you relax, they are also relaxing. Whenever you are active, they are very active. So machinery. Then office furniture is equivalent to shirt, pants, or clothes that you wear, bangle you wear, or watch you wear. These are all like furniture. You are furnishing your body. And then contingencies, any small other required like shoes, everything you buy is like contingency. That what your unforeseen expenses on maintaining your body, you require this as unforeseen expenses. It is similarity that I'm trying to bring in so that you are able to remember what is long term and what is short term. Please remember, whenever you are spending money, it is very essential for you people to classify it into long-term and short-term. Short-term expenses are like raw material, power and fuel, labor expenses, consumable expenses, repair and maintenance of the machinery, administrative expenses like accounting, mobility, communication, and all that. Then sales and marketing. This is very well known to people who are in business. Now, the objective of short term is you buy raw material, you use power and fuel and labor and consumables, convert the raw material into a final product. So you are converting raw material into final product. And then in order to do that, you need to keep machineries in good shape. And then once the product is ready, the administration takes over for selling and marketing. So now there are three functions here. One is the raw material, the second one is conversion, and the third one is administration. So even in business, the expenditure is always classified as raw material expenditure, processing expenditure, and administration expenditure. So short-term expenses are classified into raw material expenditure, power and fuel or processing expenses, and then administration expenses or selling expenses. These are the only three components in any business. There has to be raw material. In case of IT-based companies, raw data. The raw data is processed, so processing expenses, and the final data is marketed. So in case of any other manufacturing unit, raw material is brought, raw material is processed, and raw material is finished goods are sold. So remember always, there is no other expenditure than these three. So first one we call raw material. Second one is processing or direct expenses, meaning that once the raw material is purchased, it begins from there. Transportation of raw material, bringing it into your storage, then from storage to processing area to finished goods storage. There, the processing expenses stop. So from raw material point to finished goods storage point, the processing expenses stop. And then once the product is in finished goods storage, administrative and sales expenses start accruing. They are called indirect expenses. These expenses, administration and sales and marketing, do not have direct impact in manufacturing. They have indirect impact on manufacturing. So we call them as indirect expenses. So short-term expenses are of three types. One is on raw material. The second one is direct expenses or processing into final product. And then indirect expenses for selling final product to the ultimate consumer. So if you are able to classify all your expenses in these two forms, that is long-term and short-term, you are through a great exercise because it helps you to control. The moment you start writing into long-term and short-term, you are able to control. You are able to control. Let's take this example with a kite. You are flying a kite. When you fly a kite, the kite is flying closer to you. Maintaining and monitoring is easy. The moment kite starts flying high and distant, control is difficult. So the same way here, when the expenses are too much, the experience and strength that you need to build for controlling expenses is also very high. Any questions up to this stage? Anybody? Any questions? So we'll now move. The moment we say application of money, or I have money, I need to spend it. So I spend it on long term and I spend it on short term. Long term is always treated as investment or infrastructure development, and then short term is about liquidity or everyday operation. Now, whenever you have a EMI to pay, you remember it is always a long-term expenditure. Whenever you need to operate or everyday operations, you want, it's called short-term. Now, I have explained to you how a body has a long-term component. And how the body has a short-term component is explained on the right-hand side of this picture. You see the blood. Blood is nothing but cash in your business. So the cash should be in liquid form. That's why we call it as liquidity. Imagine if the blood does not flow to any part of your body, what happens? That particular part of the body becomes inoperative, or it is not able to operate efficiently. Therefore, cash, or what we call as the required money for everyday operation, blood helps you in everyday activity. So everyday activity is like blood. So blood circulation is similar to cash circulation in your company or in your business. So it cannot clot. If it clots anywhere, you have a problem to that particular part. Therefore, protecting cash movement or liquidity, or what we call as operational day-to-day activity in your business is very, very crucial, very important. It's exposed to a lot of risk, but then that's where the art of managing money comes in. So short-term money or liquidity is the one that requires utmost attention in a business. Once the healthy body is there, it is the activity that needs to manage on day-to-day basis and then bring in more money to manage long-term assets. Now, when we say, I want money to spend money, I want to spend money to make more money. When we say this, where does the money come from? So in the whole world, take any business, largest or smallest, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, or anybody, or even our corner shop. There are only two types of money. One is our own money, and the other one is others' money. There is no other source of money. There are only two sources of money. One is my money, the other part is others' money. Let it be any big industry, any person, there are only two things. When you have money, your own money. Samson, kindly please mute. Mr. Samson, please mute. So there are only two types of money. That is my own money or the money which I put in business. Now, please understand that business is a third entity. It is not you. You are putting money in business and business owes you money. So you are an investor in business yourself. You have money, you have invested in the business. So it is your money in that business. According to law, business is a legal entity. It is not you. You are only manager or you are only operational head of that business. So the business is a legal entity by itself. So the business should give you back your own money. You have invested, but you are supposed to recover it from your business. Therefore, it is called capital. So you are putting money in a business called ABC Company Limited. So you have put in money. So you are an investor in company that you own. If the entire money is yours, you become a owner. If there are many people who have invested money in your company, you are only a part owner. So remember, investment in a business is a legal entity. Business is a legal entity. Your money is treated as capital. So when this capital is not enough to make a business or to establish a business, you require others' money. When others' money is involved, two characters emerge. Only two types of characters emerge. So others' money is given either by way of a lending, or someone is giving you loan, or someone is giving you investment. The character here is very important. when somebody is giving you loan, his interest is only to recover the principal he has given and interest on that. He is not interested in any other part of your business or management of it. He will give you money based on his assessment, and then he's only interested in taking back his money and interest on that money every year, for a period that which you have agreed. Whereas an investor is a wonderful animal. He's a wonderful animal because he's an investor in many businesses, so he brings in experience of management. So he brings in money. He brings in money and takes ownership with you in the company. As I said, company is a legal entity. So you have put in money. Investor also brings in money. So two people, now you and the investor together become investors, and you have ownership of the company in terms of sharing the shares or sharing it in terms of percentages. How much money he has brought in, how much money you have brought in, the proportion is divided as shares. So now you become owners, you and investors become owners of the company in terms of share that you have brought in. Now imagine an investor is wedding the business or he's marrying your business just because he wants to make money, and he certainly will divorce you. Investor will divorce the business certainly after 3 years. Whenever there is a divorce, you imagine what happens. He wants to take his money, plus he wants to take more money. He wants to take his profits. All those things happens. So investor is looking at giving his experience to you in business, but he's also interested in making more money. Now, in comparison to banker, what investor does is, investor takes a part in your profit, either in terms of interest or in the form of dividend, but he will also look to multiply his principal money or money which he has invested in terms of value of shares. So borrowing is different, investor is different. Investor is more knowledgeable, more cunning, more interested only in multiplying his money. Therefore, he shares his knowledge with you. And you, as an investor, in your business, you have more controlling power. You need to maintain that controlling power. That's as simple as that. Now we come to the, this is again, I have explained to you that ownership is split between promoter and investor, and lender's interest is only recovery of this thing until you default. So now the first principle of borrowing or first principle of money raising is that the money that is brought into business by you and an investor is called capital. If both of you have brought in 1 rupee as a capital and it is not sufficient for you to establish business, both of you decide to approach a bank for giving loan. You take the loan and then you want to establish a business. Now, the first rule is, if you have 1 rupee capital, you cannot borrow more than 4 times that. If you have 1 rupee, you cannot borrow more than 4 rupees. All borrowings from anybody, everybody, you cannot borrow more than 4 rupees. This is the first principle. The moment this ratio exceeds 4, your business is called sick unit. When it becomes 5, it is sick unit. When this ratio is 1:6, you enter coma. Your business enters coma. It's very difficult to revive, but it can be revived with a great plan. So there will be a lot of sacrifices in reviving. When it becomes 1:7, it is almost like point of no return. Your business collapses. Always maintain a ratio below 4. Your money and investors' money together is 1 rupee. Still you want to borrow money because you are not able to establish your business, then you need to have this ratio of 1:4. But if you are bringing more investors, then your ownership will be diluted. You can bring in that also, but your ownership gets diluted. Remember that your control gets lower and lower when more and more investors come in. So if your business is a very good idea, when your shares come down, automatically someone else will try to control it and take over it. So that is not the objective of our business. So we avoid in our own day-to-day life, we avoid being a slave. We want to be independent. Same way in your business, you bring in investor, but avoid being a slave. So this I have discussed with you, long-term and short-term expenses. So what is long-term and what is short-term? Many times this definition is not known to many people. Long-term means anything repayable beyond 1 year. So you have to repay it in installments or EMIs. Anything repayable beyond 1 year. If it is a term loan, then it is a long-term loan. So it is repayable in EMIs. If it's an asset, the asset will be used for more than 1 year. Like for example, I have a car. I can use my car for more than 1 year. So it's a long-term asset. So in order to buy that that car, I have taken a term loan from the bank that is repayable in monthly EMIs over a period of 1 year or beyond a period of 1 year. Then it is called a long-term loan and a long-term asset. So the asset should be usable for a period beyond 12 months. In terms of agriculture, you have created a plantation and the orchard is developed for 3 years. So up to 3 years, you have put in a lot of money, but the orchard is used for every year harvest for more than 15 years. So orchard is a long-term asset and every year's fruit or harvest is a short-term asset. This is how you define. And then again, long-term can be classified into medium term, that is up to 5 years, long-term 5 years to 10 years, and deep long-term 10 years and beyond. Example is medium-term loan, a vehicle loan. Long-term loan is a machinery loan or a factory loan. Deep long-term loan is housing loan. Same way, medium assets are cars, vehicles, refrigerators, televisions, washing machines, all these things. Long-term loans are something, so many times bigger cars come under long-term. And then you buy certain assets for home, which are usable for more than 10 years, like furniture that is usable for more than 5 years. Then deep long-term is the houses that you buy and then buildings that you construct. Then short-term loan or anything that is happening within 12 months. So I have a business, I buy raw material, I use labor force, convert the raw material into a product and sell it within a period of 12 months and make money. So I spent money on raw material, I spent money on labor, I spent money on conversion, and then I spent money on selling it. I spent money on all these things. But then within 1 year, that money is converted back into cash. Cash plus, or what we call as extra cash. Cash plus extra cash. So the product that is manufactured within a period of 1 year and converted back into cash, making extra cash, that is called short-term money. So anything that you are able to sell at your whims and fancies within minutes or within 1 year period and convert it into cash is called a short-term asset. And short-term liability is the one which you promise to repay within 1 year. Example, credit card loans are all short-term loans. Gold loans are all short-term loans. Then hand borrowings are all short-term loans. Surprisingly, the cash that you have in your hand is also a short-term asset. cash in your hand is a short-term asset because any moment you can sell it, you can spend it. So this I have explained. So now the next one is the short-term funds again. How short-term assets and short-term liabilities are recognized or classified. So there are people in business who give you raw material on credit or on loan. That is a liability. There are people who provide you service for converting that raw material into a final product. And they say, you give me money after you sell the product. So they are also giving you on credit. That is also a liability. Then you have hired many employees, and these employees' salaries are due after 1 month. They are also your creditor or liability. Many a times your buyers have given you advance, but they have not received any product. So that is also liability. So this is how a current liability or short-term liability is normally classified. There may be many more that can say, like loans received from friends and relatives, short-term loans. That also becomes a liability. Then we have current assets. Current assets are represented as inventory or raw material stock, semi-finished goods stock in the line, and finished goods stock in the storage. These are all called inventories because you can sell them. Even the raw material can be sold and converted into cash within no time. Semi-finished goods can be converted into finished goods and sold. Finished goods can also be sold. Can we give an example anywhere here? No. Chapati, ready to eat chapati manufacturing people. Now, raw material, they have lot of stock of atta. Now, the stock of atta can be sold as early as possible as atta. And then the chapati that he's making every day, he can just make ready to eat chapati or semi-finished good and freeze them and sell it as semi-finished goods to customers. Now, finished chapatis themselves can be properly freeze dried and then sold to customers. So this is one example of inventory that you build up. Then we come to the receivable. There are many people who take the finished goods on credit, or they say, you give me the stock, I'll pay you money later. When you do that, it becomes a trade receivable or sundry debtors. And then there are employees who take advance from you. So they have to give it every month within a period of 1 year. So that becomes other receivables. Now, when we total current liabilities and assets, second principle chips in that your current assets should always be more than current liabilities. Your current assets should always be more than current liabilities. And in business, the healthy ratio is 1:1.3. That means you should always have 1 rupee 33 paisa worth of current assets if you have a liability of current liability of 1. So this is a healthy ratio that you need to maintain. Okay, now let us look at another this thing, short term and long term. We had seen this, but we'll see it again. Now you see, short term money cannot be used for long term purpose. This is one statement which I had made earlier, that short term money, someone has given you money for a short term operation, but you are trying to buy a car out of it. That is not allowed. That is a wrong method. So the moment you determine the expenditure as long term or short term, you need to mobilize money from a specialized person who gives you money for long term activity and a person who gives you for short term activity. Or the character of the money should be short term and long term in nature. When that is there, you cannot divert short-term money or money raised under short-term conditions for long-term activity or long-term purchases. Very clearly, this is where whole of India is going wrong. Whole of the businesses go wrong. This is the first and foremost caution you need to take care. That is why writing down expenditure, classifying them into short-term and long-term is very important. Let us see why it is so important. What actually happens in the market is the long-term specialists always raise money on relatively lesser cost of interest. So it's cheaper in terms of interest because the money is getting blocked, and that blocked money can be realized or recovered over a period of time. It is cheap and it is secure. Therefore, it is much less risky. Therefore, interest rates are low. Remember, in the whole business world, interest rate indicates risk. Remember always, whenever somebody says high interest, he perceives you as a high risk person. Whenever he gives you lower interest, it is very clearly he sees you as a low risk person. So the whole business world works on the principle of risk being expressed in terms of interest rates. So long-term sources of money or long-term loans, long-term money is always relatively cheaper and less risky, less interest rate is carried on. Whereas when it comes to short-term funding is very risky, highly expensive, high interest rates are charged. Why is it risky? Let us say I am in the operations of a dairy unit. I have established a dairy unit. I have 100 cows. I have infrastructure. I am maintaining cows every day. I am realizing around 900 liters of milk every day. 900 liters of milk every day is being produced. So in order to produce every day 900 liters of milk, I am spending approximately about 18,000 rupees per day. So 18,000 rupees is my operational expenditure or short-term money. Now what happens? 2 or 3 of the animals get sick and my production comes down. For more than 15 days, my production has come down. That is why in a period of 15 days, my production drops down from 100 liters to 70 liters. Sorry, 900 liters to 700 liters. Now that is why the short-term money is called high risk. Now 200 liters of milk, I'm losing money. That's approximately about today's around 8,000 rupees I'm losing. So this is where the risk comes in. In a short period of time, I've lost money. I have to continue to maintain the money, maintain the animals, but I am not getting income out of them. So the moment there is a high risk, automatically you lose money. Therefore, high risk is perceived and therefore you lose money. Therefore, short-term funds are always considered as expensive or high risk. Therefore, interest rates are high. Now imagine you borrow at a very high rate of interest and you want to invest that money in a long-term asset which is supposed to be low risk. What happens? High risk money has gone into low risk activity, resulting in paying higher interest rate for whatever you would have otherwise got at low interest. So you are incurring high expenditure on long-term asset. At the same time, your money is blocked. Short-term money is blocked. So if someone comes and says, give me back my money, you have an issue. So please remember 3 principles. One is if your own money or the business investment is 1 rupee, you cannot raise money more than 4 times that, or loan cannot be taken more than 4 times that. And never invest short-term sources or loans taken on short-term basis for long-term activities And then the third principle, whenever you have a short-term asset, the short-term liability, the ratio should be short-term asset should be higher than short-term liability, minimum being 1:1.33 times higher. So we go back to the principle and look at the summary for the first part. So money is created by use, demand, supply, and legality of a product. Money is represented by cash. Money is represented by products. Money is represented by assets. Money is also represented by services. Management, the first principle, always remember never to use short-term funds for long-term purpose, never to use short-term fund for long-term purposes. You protect your liquidity, or just like your blood, you keep your cash in liquid condition. That means you should have cash surplus or cash being protected, cash being there in your company for day-to-day purposes. You should not borrow cash on day-to-day basis. You cannot have blood transfusion on everyday basis. It is called sick. Therefore, you cannot borrow money to meet your day-to-day expenses. Whenever you spend money, you ensure that you have a productive asset. Creep on expenditure. You are able to control the expenditure. Try to ensure that you have a shorter production cycle so that you are able to produce and sell as quickly as possible. The maximum number of cycles that you have for production and marketing in a year determines your business levels. So this is the first part of our today's lecture. Any questions at this stage? The first part, the basic principles and the basic rules that you need to follow. Any questions at this stage? No questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is understand. We are understanding everything, sir. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So we'll go to the
Thank
next.
you. Very nice. Nice lecture.
We'll go to the next part. Next part is again, now we come to the business strategies. All this time we understood simple finance management. In the world, there are only two things. One is my money, others' money. When I take others' money, I have to give interest and principal back to the person from whom I have taken. Or if it is an investor, he takes dividends and share value along with him. We have seen that. Now, that's about money management or fund management. Now, when we say business, business has a strategy. So there are generally 4 levels of strategies. One is the commercial strategy. The second one is technical strategy. Third one is financial strategy. And the fourth one is exit strategies. Remember always, these 4 are integral part of any business. So it happens on day-to-day basis. Commercial strategy, technical strategy, financial strategy, and exit strategy. These are all very dynamic. Every day, you are either forced to look into it or forced to take decision on these 4 matters. First, let us look at commercial strategy, for which we call it as commercial opportunity, or how you create a demand in the market. So in order to create a demand, you have an idea. So you have an idea which you want to convert it into a product or a service and then give it to people. So when you want to give it to people, it is your idea or your conception. You need to see how many people may use your facility. So you build a particular use, how many people use that facility. As I said before in my example, Zomato, 4.6 million orders are received per day. That means about 46 lakh people every day on a minimum level give orders. It may be more today, but this is what I had read about a few days back. So market size. Zomato has clearly understood what is its market size, how much it can take by. So out of 10 crore families, is only having 4.6% share on day-to-day orders. In India, we have assumed that there are about 30 crore families to 40 crore families at the rate of 5 persons per family. So 40 crore family, Zomato thinks that about 10 crore is possibly my customers. In that, they are able to get on day-to-day order 4.6 million or 46 lakh orders every day. This is as per their statement about few days back or few weeks back. Okay, so everybody now Paytm, PhonePe, Google Pay, they have their own market share. So they know market size, what kind of transactions happen every day. So market size needs to be understood with respect to your product. That's why we say whenever you have a product or MVP, you need to know what is the use of MVP, what is the best use of MVP, what is the highest use of MVP, whether people will like it, whether people will use it. That's why it is very important for any startup to have a minimum market research. Most of the startups fail at minimum market research. And the time you take to bring that product into the market, there may be a market research, but the time you take for the product to bring it into the market also determines whether your product is actively available in the market or actively desired in the market. Very important that you determine your customers. Who are your customers in the market? Are there any service providers of the same type in the market? Then what should be your strategy to change that particular level of acceptability of that product? So then your responsibility comes in, how do I reach my product to a particular customer? That's called supply chain arrangement. And then you need to study how many units of your nature or a similar business has succeeded or failed in the business, in the commerce. So automatically you will get an idea what to avoid, what to incorporate. So this is called market understanding or market size understanding, minimum market research, so that you are able to position your product accordingly. At the backdrop of these things, you remember you are in the market, you are in the business. Therefore, your motto should be survival, sustenance, and progress. So your product should be planned in the market accordingly. Survival normally comes when large number of clients are there. That's why whenever you make a pitch, people say, what is your number of clients? What is your customer acquisition cost? What is your customer base? So survival comes on account of your customer base. How many customers you have determines the customer base. Large number of customers gives you survival. Then when you are able to run the operations for more than 1 or 2 or 3 years, you are called a sustaining company and you are growing slowly and steadily. Then when you are making a lot of profit, people call you survival, sustaining, and progressing company. All these are dependent on market. How many clients you have, how you are able to maintain that clients in your business, how you are able to improve on this number of clients will determine your progress. This first part. Second part is the technology that you are adopting. When it comes to technology, the first thing is human resources. Who are all your technical people who are able to support the technology in production, technology in providing service, and technology in providing after-sales service. So human resources constitute very important part of technical feasibility. Now we see in most of the agricultural startups. We have people who come and say, sir, I'm developing a IoT-based agronomy services company. When we look at the profile of the company, there is not even a single agronomist, either as an employee or as a director. Now, what kind of technical support these people can get? They simply say, sir, we are having a tie-up with university. They are not able to provide the proof of that arrangement. So this is where most of the startups end up making mistakes. Technological feasibility should be built into your product or your facility. Now, the most important thing is you have created a demand. In order to meet that demand, you have to supply. In order to supply, you need to determine the capacity. Now, the capacity determination is again a technical ability. So how much you can produce per day, how much you can produce per hour, how much you can supply per day. Let me give an example, very simple example about capacity. Now, I have developed a IoT device, and nearly about 10 lakh horticulture farmers are there in Maharashtra. So my client level is very high. That means my commercial size is opportunity available to me is very high. So I have a IoT device that I have developed. I'm an agriculture graduate, so I understand agronomy. I have 40 years experience. So I am able to do this. Now, you see, 10 lakh farmers are also willing to adopt it. And my capacity is I have only 1 crore rupee in my pocket. So in 1 crore, I am able to develop only 100 units. In 1 crore, I am able to develop only 100 units. Now, where am I limited? What is my capacity? My capacity is limited to 100 units in a demand of 10 lakh customers. What happens to them? There are many people who have more money. They will bring in capacity. They will enter the market. So my capacity or my ability to supply gets limited because I have less money. Got it? So this is where capacity planning, demand and capacity planning becomes important. Now, when I need to meet 10 lakh capacity, I need to mobilize money. So in order to mobilize money, I have only 1 crore. So as per finance management principle, maximum I can raise is 4 crores. So totally 5 crores I am able to raise. With 5 crores, I am able to cater only 500 customers. I'm way behind the market. Then what happens? People who give me orders, they start canceling orders. In one exhibition I went, I mobilized 2,500 orders. But my ability to manufacture is only 500 units per month. Automatically, my ability to service 2,500 units is having a delay of 5 to 6 months. Again, you see, I should have capacity to go to 500 farmers, establish them, and provide them service. So my limit is, again, capacity is getting limited. So customers get fed up with me, they leave me. So capacity planning is most important in technical planning of your project. Then raw material. Raw material has to be indigenous or imported. When it is imported, it becomes very difficult for you to monitor and manage. Recently, during the COVID time, we had a lot of conflict with China. Now, China was supplying and Taiwan was supplying a lot of semiconductors. One of our startups had about 20 sensors in his product. He indigenized 18 products during COVID time, 18 sensors, but 2 sensors he was not able to indigenize. He was dependent on Chinese market. During COVID time, all of you remember, India had a lot of friction with China, especially with respect to Ladakh as well as COVID. So automatically, those two sensors he was not able to get for a period of 2 years in substantial quantities. Therefore, his startup started failing. He was not able to produce and sell his product in the required quantity. So remember always, where is the raw material available? What is its transportation cost? What is its availability? This is all very important for us to ensure that we have a continuous production and continuous sales of our product. We are trying to, just 1 minute. Like, because I underwent hip surgery, so I have little issue with my hip. I need to keep getting up and sitting down for some time. So kindly forgive me. I just changed my direction in order to do that. So most important thing you should remember is how I manage my supplies, especially technical. Now raw material. I give one more example. One person wanted banana fiber unit to be established in Hyderabad. Now we were questioning him, where are you getting your raw material? Because Hyderabad generally has limited supply of a particular quality of banana stem. Therefore, he said he's importing it from Tamil Nadu. He's bringing it from Tamil Nadu. Now the cost of transportation of raw material from Tamil Nadu to Hyderabad, that too from Theni area and surrounding area to Hyderabad, it's very high. So he will have to establish a smaller units where the banana fiber is processed in Theni area or in Tamil Nadu southern part, and send the semi-finished goods to Hyderabad. That kind of planning needs to be done. This is about technical business. Financial viability, very clearly I have told you that in business we are there to make money. If you do not have motivation to make money, if you want to be a NGO, forget it. You should not be in NGO. NGO also should make money in order to be surviving for a long period of time. So profit is an integral part of business. If you don't have profit motive, please forget business. You will not be able to manage properly. I'll give example again. We had a BAIF company in Pune, which in 1969 wanted to supply vaccine for cattle at cost. That means without making profit. They borrowed around 8 crores in 1969 and they started producing vaccine at cost and supplying vaccine at cost to farmers. But then what happened? In 1982 or 85, the unit had become sick. 8 crore loan had become 20 crore loan. They were not able to manage the unit properly. So unless you have a profit motive, business does not allow you to work or continuously produce and survive. That's why survival, sustaining, and progress is very important. So that is the meaning of your business. Then healthy body, healthy activity. That is the financial goal. Now we come to exit plan. Many people ask me why we should have an exit plan when we are entering a business. When you are entering a business, why you should have an exit plan? Very simple. You look to your example at home. When we were children, we were taught about Abhimanyu. We were taught about Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu is a wonderful warrior. He learned about entering Chakravyuha when he was in mother's womb. And Sri Krishna stopped teaching him exit plan when he was always nodding for entering. And then Abhimanyu is born. For 19 years, he doesn't learn how to exit Chakravyuha. He's a Kshatriya and he's a warrior. He knew every technique in archery, but then he did not learn for 19 years how to get out of Chakravyuha. I'm giving this example as a simple analogy, not to demean anybody or not to demean any part of any mythology. I love the character of Abhimanyu for what it is, a young man going into the war and fighting against veterans. It's not a joke. It's extreme courage. But extreme courage at what cost? You lost your life. That's where Abhimanyu becomes an anti-hero. He says he should have learned exit plan and entered it. He would have finished Mahabharata in 1 day. In 1 day or 2 days or 3 days, not 18 days. This is exactly what we need to do in business. In business, remember, it's Chakravyuha. There is Dronacharya, there is Bhishmacharya, there is Shakuni, there is Duryodhana, there is all these 99 brothers, Kauravas, and there are other people aligned to them, and you are one among them. Remember, Pandavas were brothers or cousins of Kauravas. Same way in business, you are one among the breed, but you are a competitor. So people will try to beat you out of competition. So you remember your objective is to survive, sustain, and progress. So exit plan becomes a part of the strategy. What happens when you are making a lot of profit? When you are making a lot of profit, it is possible for you to sell a part of the stake, make more money, and keep it with you and come out of the business to some extent. That's why we say diluting our share to some extent. That's called stake sale. Many a times we are with partners. Somehow, after a long period of time of making profit, partners tend to depart. So that's when exit plan happens. One of the partners walks out with his share of profit and his share of the company. Then sometimes we are fed up, we leave the business, like Raymond's, the Raymond's owner, he just handed over the entire business to his son and he quit. What happened subsequently, we have all seen. But there are people who want to quit business. Then many a times we change technology. So exit plan can also be exiting of the technology. Many a times we have many assets that are lying useless. So we try to exit the assets. So exit plan is not just that I quit. It is not that. It can be many forms. You need to have a strategy. What step shall I take at what stage? When I make entire profits and value is created, I try to make money. Now let's take one more example here. In 1997, Sabir Bhatia created Hotmail.com. Hotmail, one of the email service providers he created. Just a minute, 1 minute. I need to my battery. Just a minute, sorry. You know that at that time, at that particular point of time, email was just beginning to take place. There were few service providers in email. So Adora Light, if I remember correctly, Adora Light was one among them. So he created Hotmail. So in 1998, Microsoft bought it for 400 crores. He was very happily exited the business. He said, okay, I'm happy, I'm leaving the business. Then we had one more business called Indo-American Seeds. Indo-American Seeds, he developed one particular capsicum breed and he sold that breed for 12 crores and left that business. We have many such examples. MTR for that matter, created a brand of ready-to-eat foods. Then he sold that to a Netherlands company for 400 crores. Now, this exit plan, even in case of Mukesh Ambani, you remember, Reliance Communication was given to his brother in settlement. He exited the business with a condition that he will come back with no competition for 5 or 10 years, and then he would come back into business. Geo is what you are seeing. So exit plan is an important component of your business. So you need to understand that. Especially those of you who go in for investor-based finance planning, exit plan is planned very carefully in the document when you enter into investment arrangement. So now we have come to the last part of today's presentation. This is called product planning. So in product planning, we have our objective of business is survival, sustaining, and progress. Now let us imagine that me and you all, we go to a hotel. So when we are all so many people, we cannot order a la carte. There are too many people. So we order thali for all the 100 people who are there in today's meeting. Sorry, I am talking to you virtually, but I am offering a plate virtually. So you have before you a thali. Now observe this thali carefully. There are 3 segments. I have deliberately divided them into 3 segments. The first segment is dal chawal, dal and chawal. See there, dal makhani, dal yellow, and the paneer kurma and raita. These are on one part. Dal is there. So this is one part. The second part is sabzi and chapati. Sabzi and chapati are there at the second part. The third part is sweet. Now let us compare the use of this in our body. Dal chawal, what does it give you? It gives you a lot of energy. I want to ask you, is it possible to survive our life on dal chawal? Definitely yes. We can survive every day with dal and chawal. Now let us ask a railway coolie that I will give you dal chawal free every day for next 1 month. I won't give you any protein. I won't give you any sweet. How will he feel? On the third day, he will feel weak because he is not getting protein. So automatically we now move to the second segment. So survival is guaranteed by dal chawal. Now if you look at it, the quantity of dal chawal is more than the quantity of chapati and sabzi and jamun. So for your survival, one product that is larger in quantity and in terms of money, it is cheaper. So remember, one product should be there which is in large quantity but lesser value, or we call it as high volume, low value product in your collection or in your product line. That ensures you survival. Now imagine how many people eat dal chawal. So large number of people eat dal chawal. Automatically, it is the large number of clients using low value product, high volume product that give you survival for your business. Now we come to the second part, protein in form of sabzi and chapati. Protein in the form of sabzi and chapati are giving you strength for your body or sustaining your body. So sustenance of business, you need to have a second product which will be of medium value and moving in medium volumes. So your product line should be one, a cheaper product but moving in large quantity, a medium value product which moves in medium volumes, and lastly, when will you feel happy after eating dal chawal and sabzi roti? When will you feel happy and when will you feel satisfied? Only when you eat a small portion of jamun, isn't it? Do you agree or you don't agree? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you always say, यार खाने में मजा आ गया, or you say, आज का खाना बहुत बढ़िया था. My food today was fantastic. So the last one is called high value, low volume. High value, low volume product, or what we call as in terms of Maruti car. If you take Maruti 800, the base model is dal chawal. So you see large quantity is sold in base model. Then the delta and zeta segment is called medium segment, and the alpha segment is called the highest quality, high value, low volume. Maruti cannot sell large number of alpha cars. They will sell only a medium number, very small number of alpha cars, but they make maximum profit on it. So same way you take anything you see, the small volume, a high profit. Now let us take example of mobile phones. Xiaomi mobile phones or Xiaomi mobile phones or Mi line. In Mi line, you have mobile phones in the range of 5 to 12,000 rupees, or the low segment mobile phones, which are sold in large quantities, especially the labor community and the worker community buy this. Then comes the middle class segment, which go for the second grade, that is between 12,000 to 30,000 rupees grade. That is a kind of sustenance for the Xiaomi company. The first one is a survival model for the company. Large number of mobile phones are being sold, so the profit earned is enough for them to survive. The second segment gives them the sustainability. And the third segment is they have a product at 60,000 rupees per mobile phone. How many people buy it? Xiaomi, 60,000 rupees phone. Very few people buy it because there are better brands than Xiaomi at that range. So that is like, it's a cream for Xiaomi. Even if about 1 lakh units are sold, they are making a lot of money. So the crux of the whole strategy in business or in your own body, if you see dal chawal, let us take the case of a coolie, is able to generate enough energy for his body with dal chawal or large volume of your thali. He is able to sustain his body with protein and chapati or sabzi and chapati. He gets pleasure. मैंने बहुत बढ़िया काम किया. I am enjoying my today by taking that small quantity of jamun. Saying how can we relate it to his activity today? So today he gets a client who is carrying very light luggage, but he gives lot of money for his service. That is called sweet. It doesn't happen every day. Like for example, I was traveling by rickshaw yesterday from a distance. He refused to travel the distance and claimed 140 rupees for the distance of about 4 kilometers. And I was in a hurry. I said, I'll give you 200 rupees, but you need to take me safely and as early as possible. So see, that's one particular customer giving him a great pleasure or great value for his service. This is phenomena everywhere. You go to a corner shop and look at him. He keeps cheaper objects in larger quantities in the front of the shop. Then he keeps medium value, medium product items in the second level. You can see high value, low volume products in the back benches. He tries to reach them only when there is a demand. He wants to reach quickly whenever there is a demand for the other two products. Let us take example of Tanishq, a gold showroom. You go to gold showroom. When you go to walk in, what do you see in large numbers? You see ring, you see ear buds, you see nose buds, earrings, then bracelets in larger quantities. Because they move in larger quantities and most of the people are not very choosy about them. They just come and pick up and then move. Then comes the next level, that is bangles. So bangles and smaller necklaces can come into the B category, or medium value, medium volume products. Then the high value, low volume products are marriage necklaces, special pendants. They come into that category. You just go and look at them. They will always be in smaller quantity. They will try to make it for order for you. So that brings the end that our business is about expenditure. So expenditure needs to be written down and classified into long-term and short-term. So we need to mobilize specialized money for long-term activity and short-term expenditure. Short-term expenditure is risky, therefore high interest rates are charged. Long-term assets are backed by assets, therefore they are less risky considered, and then less rate of interest is charged. As a matter of principle, we should never divert highly expensive funds of short-term nature for low risk activity like long-term expenditure. Then, in order to mobilize this money, the source of money is ourselves or we as investor, and another investor brought in for a lesser share. Both of us, we bring in 1 rupee, and then since the money 1 rupee is short for running the business, we borrow money. We cannot borrow more than 4 rupees. That's the first principle of ratio maintenance. Then we establish the business and run the business. When we run the business, short-term assets are created and short-term liabilities are created. So we always ensure that we have more short-term assets so that we can sell and create liquidity, or quickly we can convert an asset into money. So we maintain a ratio of 1:1.33. In strategies, we ensure that we have a commercial strategy, technical strategy, then financial strategy and exit strategy. And in order to meet the motto of our business, the business should be survival, sustenance, and progress. Whenever you start a business, survival strategy is at most. Once you have a survival strategy, sustenance is what you people will look at. Just like in the olden days, if you look at Aesop fables, he talks about slaves. So first thing they used to look at is whether he can survive. Second thing they used to look at is whether he can sustain. And the last one they were looking at is if he is able to survive and sustain, whether they can make money out of it, more money out of it. So this is how the whole principle of business runs: survival, sustenance, and progress. It is integral to business. So please follow it. Please try to take care. Anytime you get stuck, you can take my number from the coordinators and call me, but I cannot give you my number directly to you. You can always take from them and send me message. Do not call me, send me message. I will call you back. Please ensure that you don't call me. I will not take any unknown numbers. All the best to all of you. If there are any questions, I will take and I will answer. Good day to you.
So
Anyone?
thank you very much, sir. As you said, a very simplified way presentation. I think everyone can understand the finance management with this presentation, sir. Really excellent and exemplary way of presentation. Thank you, sir. And now it is open for discussions.
Thank you so much for the compliments.
So thank you very much, sir. This is Ajish here. When you started the presentation, you gave example of Vishnu, Ishvara, and one more God, and you started it.
For the name, that's the name.
Yeah.
For example, when you say capital,
Hmm.
you have 100 names for that. In capital, we say paid up shares. What do is that you call
Reserves.
priority share. You have 100 names, debentures, convertible debentures. That's what I said. When you say Vishnu, you have 100 names for Vishnu, but basically is Vishnu. Same way, money can be said in 100 terms. Don't get confused. Okay. All that I'm saying is, when you say capital, it's about ownership money.
And what do you mean by?
When you enter financial market, they will confuse you with all the terminologies. When you say Garuda Vahana, you have to explain why Vishnu is called Garuda Vahana, isn't it? Same way when you say this is my problem because of age, I forget the terminology. When you say convertible debenture is a form of investment. It's an investment. Now, you have to explain what is that convertible debenture, right? Like Garuda Vahana, when you explain, same way convertible debenture, you have to explain it as an investment or a loan. When you say debenture, it's a loan. People simply do not call it a loan, they call it debenture.
And Ishvara and one more name you use.
Brahma.
Brahma. Okay. So what?
They are all, you have Sahasra Naam for it. Same way in finance term, there are 3 people whom you call by hundreds of names. So don't get distracted by that. Stick to the basic that it's all money. It's all money.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It's all money, nothing but money. If someone says debenture, don't get confused. It is again money, and money is being given in a particular form and particular condition. So the same like that, you have 1,000 names. So whenever you see a balance sheet, don't get confused. Simply look at what is the own money, what is the borrowed money. That's it.
Yes, sir. And you primarily focus only on expenditure, sir.
Yes, expenditure is the basic of business.
Okay, sir.
If you
So
don't have expenditure, there is nothing that you can, by spending money, you are creating something, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Asset is created by spending money. You spend money on buying a car. So you lost your money, but you got a car. So expenditure is basic of business. Now let me ask you a simple question. You are a doctor. You are a doctor. You have to visit me. Now, you cannot come by walk. You cannot come by bus. You have to travel by scooter or by your own car. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, you have to visit me as a patient.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yeah.
Now, what are you trying to do? You are using a car to come to my house, but you are going to charge me. Oh, who is paying money? Who is expending money?
Yeah, I'm expending.
No, I am spending money to you.
Okay. But
you bought a car, you spent money elsewhere. So without spending money, there is no business.
okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Got it? So it's the basis of expenditure is basis of business.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else?
We can get your email from the organizers, right, sir? Email.
Oh, everything you will get it from Ashvik.
Yeah.
Or from the coordinators.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
See, basically, all that I want you to ensure is do not get scared of finance. Do not get scared of the term finance. Do not get scared of the term balance sheet. Do not get scared of the terms profit and loss. It is just about your body. Balance sheet is nothing but a healthy body. Profit and loss account is everyday activity. You're going to represent them in this form. Don't get intimidated by when somebody asks you questions about your balance sheet or your profit and loss account. Just remember, balance sheet, when they ask you, they are looking at health of your business. When they look at profit and loss, they look whether you are active or you're docile or you are able to carry on your business regularly like that. Okay.
And cash flow statement, sir.
Cash flow statement is also simple. When you write, I told you in the beginning itself, why do you need money? Means you write down why you need money. When do you need money? You write down when do you need money. How much money you need when. You write down. And then from whom you are getting money. Cash flow is done. That's what I told you in the beginning. 50% of your finance management is done in the first statement. Why do you need money? I want to buy a car. When do you need money? I want to buy car in November. Why do you want to buy car in November? Because of Diwali. And how much money is required for car? 10 lakh rupees. Who is giving money per car? I am giving 2.5 lakhs. Bank is giving 7.5 lakhs. This is cash flow. That's all cash flow.
Yeah.
Where money is coming from, where is it going? That's cash flow statement. Only thing is, it is complicated, as I told you, by thousands of names that people use. But simply it is this. Even if you are able to write down like this, and where is money coming from? Where are you spending money? That's enough, more than enough for a cash flow statement. Let's say, for example, I want raw material in the month of October. Maize I require for my cattle feed factory. Cattle feed factory, I require maize. Maize is harvested in this region in the month of September end. Now, September end maize is harvested. By October, I need this one. But maize is not dried by that time. But maize is available cheap in the first week because it is not dry. Weight will be more, grains will be less because of moisture content. So what I do is, I buy it at a lesser quantity, I dehydrate it, and I ensure I get a proper price for a dehydrated maize at my end at the end of September, at the end of October. Now, the party, when I negotiate with the seller, I tell him, why don't you give me entire quantity? I will pay you at the end of October. Now you see, I have an expenditure of 2 lakh rupees at the end of October, but the farmer is ready to give me free of cost. Free of cost in the sense, he says, okay, you give me money later, but take my product. Now what happened? I borrowed it from farmer. I borrowed the product from farmer. This is how business runs. So funds are coming from one or the other source. So you have to write down where are you getting money. Right?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
That's very simple. Cash flow is the simplest thing that, but people complicate it, saying that so many things they try to complicate. So when you write down short-term expenditure, long-term expenditure, when you want to spend, how much you want to spend, where you are getting money, that gives you a good plan. Anybody else?
Sir, similar way, can we define the value chain?
Value chain. Value chain is exactly same thing. Absolutely right. Write down where it starts, expenditure, where the expenditure stops, and where the product is being sold, and how money is coming back. It's a value chain.
Thank you, sir.
So remember always, risk is the only way people look at you. So when they look at you, what risk? They will look at, are you surviving? Are you sustaining? Are you progressing? If you are not progressing, you will be classified under medium risk. If you are not progressing, you are under medium risk. If you are not even surviving, you are high risk. If you are not sustaining, you are high risk. If you are progressing, if you have sustained, if you have survived, then all the three low risk. If someone is giving you loan at 7%, low risk. If someone is giving you loan at 15%, medium risk. If someone is giving you loan at 24% or 36%, high risk. They see high risk. Right? Anybody else? Right then. Fantastic talking to you and meeting you. My commitment stands. I'll give you free consultation over phone anytime you get stuck. Please message me. Don't call me. Don't email me. And please do not send too many requests on LinkedIn. And I'll be able to help you anytime you require. You will not believe there are people from US who line up their requests every day. And I'm unable to cater so many, but then I'm messaging them and I'm informing them what steps they can take. Okay? But they will all be simple solutions. I cannot give you complicated solutions because it's very difficult for small businesses to understand complicated solutions. Okay? Right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Formal thanks, Lakshmi. Vote of thanks.
Yeah, sir. So, yeah, thank you very much, sir, Satish sir, for accepting our request to deliver a session on this national webinar series. We can certainly say that you have added more valuable points to startups who are budding, and as you have rightly mentioned, struggling for the concept of finance management. So you have clearly mentioned all the things like expenditure management, sources of money, and the business strategizing the business aspects like commercials, technical feasibility, and everything, along with the product planning also. So thank you so much for your elaborative and very useful information, sir. We certainly feel that all the audience are benefited out of this session. And as sir has mentioned that if anyone having further queries, undoubtedly in finance aspect, though, you will be having doubts later on. So as sir said, you please get in touch with him through the messages only, and sir will be able to cater the whatever the required information you would want. And we also would like to thank all the participants for making this continuous success for the 4th day also. And we'd like to see all of you in the final day, that is tomorrow, in another exciting session. So yeah, and one more request would be, as it is going to be the final day tomorrow, if anyone is not able to join through Zoom, you can always join through YouTube, and the participation certificates also will be given tomorrow for the people who has filled the feedback form. And once again, thank you so much, sir, Satish sir, for sparing your valuable time and for your valuable inputs. Yes,
Okay.
thank
Sir,
you so much.
Dr.
Thank you, sir.
Already, sir. Thank you very much. Madam, thank you very much. I just want to tell you, in case required, my whatever little knowledge of Telugu is there, I can communicate in Telugu also for anybody who requires this kind of.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Telugu knowledge, I am able to communicate the same information to the best of my ability. Or the same lecture, when you are watching, you can convert it into Telugu and repeat it to anybody who is needy in this particular line.
No, sir. Certainly, we will use your expertise for some other programs also, sir. Especially in Telugu, we will arrange some sessions. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Yes. All the best to all of you. And again, remember, dear participants, the objective of money is to make more money. To please make more money. Please make more money. Please make more money. Please make money more to the extent of n, to the raised to the power of n. Please apply yourself. My blessings to all of you. Good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good day to all of you. Thank you.